Hello and welcome back to another episode of the O2 Garage. We are back in the garage, a bit cold outside at the moment, and right behind us is our Project VP Commodore that we're putting together. Now in that first episode of the season you got a chance to see the car and catch up on where things are at. Now it's time to get into the project. Let me tell you about what we're going to do with this one here, because it's a pretty special sort of a car. It's come from a deceased estate, and it was a friend of mine that passed away, and I've got the opportunity to bring one of his cars back to life. It had been sitting for a while. VP Commodore 5, 3.8 litre, I wish it was a 5 litre, 3.8 litre V6, multiple 4-speed auto, but it has got Calais interior. It's got a lot of really good suspension. It's got some Nolethane bushes, new exhaust on the back. Now the paint on it is quite weathered, it's quite patinaed, and I'll tell you right away, if you know anything about the O2 Garage, we love rat rods. And this is not a rat rod, it's a modern car, but I'm going to leave it as it is. There's a couple of sections that have been painted, so I'm not touching the whole car, except I am going to fit the body kit down the bottom. It just gives them a little bit of attitude. It's already lowered, that's going to make it look even lower again. So right now we're going to do an oil change, coolant change, brake fluid change, check the trans fluid, check the diff oil. I've got to put 2 tyres on it and a couple of other bits and pieces, so let's get stuck into that. The front of the VP has got a little lip spoiler, and the side skirts aren't on the car and they're not actually complete. So I've gone out and got a set of VRVS Commodore ones, but they're off of a wagon, so they've got to be trimmed down. They are the right colour and they're going to be the right length because of the body shape. So I'm going to get these ones on, and then at the back I've got a little rear lip as well. Okay, as the side skirts just start to settle in and cure, have a quick history lesson on the VP Commodore. VP Commodore was the second of this body style behind the VN. When the VN first came out, changed Australian motoring because it had a V6 motor in it. Whoa! As opposed to the VL, which had the 6-cylinder and the turbo. This particular one came out after the VN, had about 126 kilowatts. At the time, the rival in the marketplace was the Ford EB Falcon, and that had a little bit more, about the sort of 130 odd kilowatts from the straight 6-cylinder. And the two of these went at it, not only in V8 supercars but also on the street. There were a lot of taxis that were like these. They were big, easy to drive, 4-speed automatic cars. You could go the length and the breadth of Australia in this car because that's what it was designed to do. However, what happened in the late 90s were that the earlier model Commodores started to get picked up. And some of those period modifications from the 90s and early 2000s are all over this car. This is a real survivor. And when you have a look at the colour, which is obviously the silver and the blue interior, very nice on the eye. But if I just give you a quick rundown on my high-tech list here of what this car's got. Inside it's got Calais interior, which was a big thing to do. It's got a Calais steering wheel and it's got a Pioneer CD player. That doesn't scream the 90s, I don't know what does. And a set of Sony Explode speakers. Back then they were all the rage. Now up the front here we've got some slotted rotors, we've got King springs, and there's Nolethane bushes, and you really didn't need to do too much else. They were ventilated discs at the front and they could pull the car up. Down the back it's got more slotted rotors, it's got an adjustable panhard rod, because on the VPs and the VLs, the VNs, the VRs and all those, when you drop them down, because they had a solid axle, when you lower them, the panhard rod would push the car over to one side. So those people that had a bit of cash in the bank got that adjustable panhard, which this one has. Has got a set of KYB shocks down the back as well. Now, underneath the bonnet is where things are a little bit interesting, because a lot of people didn't modify the V6 all that much. There wasn't much you could do back then. There certainly wasn't superchargers and turbos like we have today. So people did exactly what this list says this car's got. It's got a K&N air filter. wow, there's a couple of horsepower, maybe make it up to 130. It's got the stock exhaust manifolds, stock intake manifold, but it has got a set of Eagle HT leads, probably got some uprated spark plugs, and that's about all you could do under the bonnet there. You could keep them serviced, and they were good. They had good torque, not a lot of horsepower, but good torque, and they certainly could one wheel peel a peg leg down the back, no problems at all. Now outside is where a lot of the modifications of this era of car really starts to show up, because there was a HSV version of this, and it had quite an extensive body kit, but this one only has the lip kit all the way around. And most of the people that were on a budget who couldn't afford a HSV, let alone a V8 or a V6 like this one, would put that kit on the side of it. To round it out, there wasn't many wheel options back in the 90s, but you know, Holden was starting to get experimental with different sizes and shapes. 16-inch rims and 17-inch rims were a big deal back in the late 90s and early 2000s. This one wears a set of Calais International rims, and I think they came from a Calais Statesman, something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but they are 17 by 8s. They've got 235, 45, 17s. Yep, that's exactly what they had, and you can see lowered. It looks really cool. It also had a set of Venetians in the back. That's a bit more of a current model sort of a modification, but all things being equal, this car represents the 90s and early 2000s with regards to the modifications. And I think we need to leave it just like that. Well, as you can see, the car has come up really nice, cleaned up really nice. Still have to get the polishing going, but a couple of little issues that have shown up on this one. Top radiator hose has just got a bit of a leak up the top. We also have a oil temp sensor, oil indicator sensor that's playing up, and also on this side, overheating and cutting the car out is a crank angle sensor. So we've got those parts and bits and pieces. There's a crank angle sensor right there. Got a few other bits and pieces. Let's get them, get it sorted out. Okay, it is time for the first drive. And when I say first drive, it's time to just take it for a cruise, just around the suburb and see what it's going on. I've got a bit of a squeaky belt, but I'm not really worried about that at the moment. Just want to see how it rides. I just popped some fresh fuel in it. We've also got the oil pressure sender in. That's fine. I've got a new drive belt on it. I've got the new crank angle sensor, coolant, trans fluid, all the bits and pieces. Let's see what happens. Well, to be honest with you guys, I'm pretty happy with the way the Commodore's coming up. I've still got to give it a final polish and a buff and so forth, but it's pretty well back from the dead. It came to us as a, you know, a barn find car. It was quite dirty, quite dusty, and now it's just a nice running, complete car, almost like, for want of a better reason, a bit of a survivor, if you want to call it something. And on the basis of that, I think someone's going to really enjoy this car. It's not a car for me. I'm not into this particular type of car, but I do like saving them. It's kind of a bit of the juice for most car guys. They like saving the cars. But at the moment, I'm now thinking to myself, it's got to go to somebody else, and I want to make money, obviously, on the car. I'm happy to share with how much I currently have in the car. I've got about $4 grand in this car at the moment, which doesn't sound like much, but you want to be careful because the market is very sensitive on old cars at the moment. If you price them too high, the cars don't sell. They've got to be absolutely spot on. I think the market for this car is maybe $5,000 or $6,000, but to find someone who will pay $5,000 or $6,000 isn't going to be an easy task. So what I'm actually thinking of doing is something completely different, something different to what I've done in the O2 garage before, and that is look to swap the car for another car of more value. And I think the way I'm trying to get my head around it, I've never really done this, is to sort of imagine, okay, well, if I think the car's worth $4,000 and someone offers me a swap and that car is worth more than $4,000, I've got to ask myself, well, can I sell that car for $4,000, or will I need to swap it for something else? So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the car up and essentially swap it out and just see what can come my way. I might get a Hilux, a Corolla, I might get an unfinished car, a finished car, I don't know. But if my goal is to get a vehicle better than $4,000 swapped for this, I think I'm actually in a pretty good spot. I reckon I've got a car that people are going to want. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to swap it out. So the next episode coming up is going to be all about what we get offered to swap this for, having a look at those cars, and hopefully, yeah, swapping it out for profit. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please do me a favor, hit like and subscribe. I have come back after 2 years. This is the second episode of the new season. I hope you enjoy what you see. Leave us a comment. I love getting the comments from everybody. So please let us know if you know what you think of the show. Did you like it? Is $4,000? Am I dreaming? Am I absolutely on whatever I'm on to think I'm going to get $4,000 for this car, or swap it out for something more? Let's wait and see. But anyway, either way, I'll see you on the next episode. I'm going to put some kilometers on it. I'm enjoying it tonight.